Okay, now let's generate this frequency distribution using pivot table. Okay, so we start with, go to the tab with the data. Okay, you don't really need all the columns, we need only the cost, but let's highlight the entire data set, insert pivot table. Okay, you have the data source right there, and we'll do this in an existing worksheet. We'll put it somewhere here, so we're sure that there is nothing there. Okay, so now we put cost as the row. Okay, if there was any data down below, we would have gotten a caution, and then we could either say, okay, you can go ahead and erase it, or escape back out and then move it to a different place. Okay, so now we want a count, so it doesn't matter which of the columns you use. So if it is a label, then it will give you a count, so we want count, that's good. Okay, so now you have a row for each data point, but we want to now summarize this into class intervals. Okay, it's kind of easier to do this in pivot table. So you click a cell in the pivot table, right click, and then look for group. So when you say group, then you can specify where to start and where to end and by how much. So we'll use the same starting point like before of 20, and we want the class interval, the by here is the class interval, which is by 10. Okay, so now that is classified 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49. So here the class limits operate in the opposite way compared to the frequency function. In the frequency function, this upper limit went all the way to 30. Okay, so now you see that 30 is in the second row. So this frequency distribution is going to be slightly different from what we saw earlier. So this is cost of a meal, and that's frequency. Okay, now right align. Okay, now you see this frequency, the first row has 8, here it is 8, the second row is 28, whereas we have 27. So that's because second row here goes up to 40 inclusive, whereas here it goes only up to 39. Okay, the number 40 gets included in the next row. Now we can do one more thing here. Instead of simply frequency of all of the restaurants, okay, pivot table allows us to very easily group these frequencies into different categories. So go to field list. Okay, now you can classify the column as locations. So when you put locations, you get city and suburban. Okay, now it messed up the column widths, you see, so you have to, let's go ahead and make all the column widths about the same, and we'll go in align it, and let's go in to pivot table options and uncheck that. Okay, so now we have a frequency distribution for a numerical variable, okay, where we had to group the values. In categorical variables, that was not a problem. When you have a numeric variable, you have to group them. And you can do a stacked bar chart for visualization. So again, when you're in analyze, you go to pivot chart, and automatically gives you a side by side stacked bar. Okay, so this is cost of a meal. The x-axis is the cost in dollars and y-axis is frequency. Okay, so it gives you a sort of a bell-shaped, not quite bell-shaped, sort of bell-shaped curve.